Now delighted to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Ron Walker. Ron has over 45 years of experience serving as a teacher, principal, staff developer, and consultant in various educational communities. He's currently the co-founder and executive director of the Coalition of Schools Educating Boys of Color. COSABOC's mission is to connect, inspire, support, and strengthen school leaders dedicated to the social, emotional, and academic development of boys and young men of color. Under Ron's leadership, COSABOC is impacting over 600 schools across the nation with a combined student population of over 300,000. COSABOC is recognized as a critical organization in the efforts to eliminate the academic achievement gap. COSABOC has been applauded for its work on changing the negative narrative often perpetuated by the media and others to a positive counter narrative that lifts up the gifts, the talents, and the promise possessed by boys and young men of color. Ron is a good partner to the college who has advised and inspired our Men as Leaders Empowered to Strive, or MALES program. I can't wait to hear his words of wisdom for our class of 2019. Please welcome 2019 commencement speaker, Ron Walker.
Well, after I heard this young man over here speak, I got to try to get my act together. And I really appreciate all of the introduction that the president gave me. I'm just an OG from Lynn, Massachusetts. All right. And I feel very passionate about this thing we call education. So although the president said, take an hour, I'm going to do this in about 15 minutes, all right? Because I'm inspired. I'm telling you, I'm here, I'm looking out to the audience, I see these beautiful faces, I see this diversity, I see the future, you know, and for someone who's my age, I ain't gonna tell you how old I am, but from someone who's my age, when I look out and see the future, we're in good hands, Madam President. And so, let me start. I have a few things I want to say. There's 3 reasons why I want to stand before you, and then I'm going to drop some other things on you as well. Hope that maybe you'll take some of it with you, okay? But first, let me say that North Shore Community College saved my family. Let me tell you why. I was telling one of the administrators that when my brother passed away from pancreatic cancer, his son, my nephew, came to live with me, and he was 19 years old. And the first thing he said, and he was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a form of autism. So all through his coming up years, people thought he couldn't learn. So he said, Uncle, he said, I want to go to college. And so I said, okay. So we came down to the North Shore Community College in Lynn, and we met a few people. We met some counselors, met some advisors, and let me tell you that they saved my family because they treated him with dignity, respect, they counseled him, and just last week, Nicholas Andre Walker graduated with his bachelor's degree from Salem State College. So it gives my heart pleasure to say I love North Shore Community College. So the first reason why I'm here is obviously, and your hand's gonna get tired because we're gonna be a lot of applauding. But I'm here because I'm here to celebrate you and I'm here to challenge you. And throughout my comments, I'm gonna try to do both. But class of 2019, you're here because of your dedication, your perseverance, and your determination to reach the high point of your life. I'm sure that there were days that you said, I wonder whether I'll ever be here. And then there are some other days you say, I know I'm going to be here. And here you are tonight. You made it. Your dream is realized. So graduates, the degree that will be placed in your hands is a key piece of what I call your life's blueprint. Your degree and your education you receive from North Shore Community College will be the great equalizer. It's yours. You earned it, and nobody can take that away. My second reason for being in your presence is to publicly salute. Now, this is going to be audience participation. Publicly salute, to cheer, celebrate the members of your extended family. They have been what I call your common unity. Now, you put that together, community. They have been your common unity, your community of love, care, support, and a reason in many cases why you never gave up despite the challenges that may have been in your way. So, to every mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, aunt, uncle, husband, wife, I'm going on, partner, son, daughter, cousin, brother, sister, niece, nephew, friend, coach, teacher, mentor, employer, neighbor, advocate, champion, and anyone else who believed in you, who challenged you, who encouraged you, who prayed for you, who kissed you, who cried with you, who laughed with you, who fed you when you needed a meal, took care of your children when you needed to study, when you needed to go to work, or when you just needed to get some rest, patted you on your back, gave you a hug, said, yes, you can do it, or gave you a swift verbal kick in your butt. I ask you, if you are here in the audience and you're able to stand, to please stand, all those categories. And let's give them a round of applause. To all of you out there, we thank you for your faith, your courage, and your love for these graduates. You have been their village of support, their life raft, their flotation device, and their oxygen mask. With your help, they overcame obstacles, disappointments, and struggles of all kinds. You have been a healing spirit when they wondered if they ever would see this day. They made it. Thank you for being resilient, patient, loyal, and hopeful, even at times when it wasn't easy. Sitting before you, in front of you, are the fruits of your labors. And so, graduating class of 2019, let's give them a round of applause. Now, also in that village of support and common unity are the faculty, the counselors, the advisors, the staff, the administration of the North Shore Community College. It takes a whole village to support a graduate. Let me say that again. It takes a whole village to support a graduate. And I say to North Shore Community College staff, faculty, thank you for expecting the best and giving your best. You have provided the wings for the amazing solo flights that these graduates are preparing to take. My third reason for joining you today is to share a few thoughts and reminders that I hope you find useful in your personal flight to success. When I received the invitation to be your speaker, and by the way, I want to thank everyone who extended it. I want to thank Michelle Williams for her great work with the mail program and for first extending me an invitation, and Dr. Jermaine, and the President Gentili, and the board, and everybody who had a hand in helping me to be here. Elaine, mom, who's been serving as my mom because she's been keeping me in track. Thank you, Elaine, wherever you are. Okay, and Linda Brantley for making sure that I don't say crazy things up here. Okay. So when I received the invitation to be your speaker, I asked one of your fellow graduates who works at a local cleaners where I regularly take my clothes to share a few thoughts. What would you want to hear? Her name is Shalia Valerie. Now, Shalia, I see you. Where are you, Shalia? Why don't you stand up? Okay. And so I asked her, I said, what should I say that makes sense, that you'd want to hear? And she told me the following. She said to say to people, say to my classmates, never doubt yourself or let anyone persuade you that you are not capable of doing anything you put your mind to. Be confident and believe in yourself and set high expectations for your future. Don't give up when you face a challenge. Just consider a new way of overcoming that challenge. Think positive. Be optimistic. Now, is that wisdom or is that wisdom? Now, let me build on what Shalia said. And I'm almost done. I only got another hour. Education is your gateway to success and service. As you achieve, excel, and become successful, please remember to think about the ways that you can serve others and your community. There's sure to be someone you're going to meet along the way that can benefit from your advice, your counsel, and your mentorship. Some of you will be transferring to a four-year college to acquire your four-year degree and beyond. And some of you are graduating with career-ready two-year degrees and one-year certificates in specific trade areas. But no matter which path you take, be the best that you can be. And I encourage you to never stop educating yourself. Be a continuous learner. Soak in all the learning and knowledge that you can absorb. Be a sponge. Apply your new learnings and understandings to imagine and to create. You will discover that education is more valuable than gold, than silver, than diamonds, precious and expensive items that you may possess. Now, I see some people have some nice gold and some diamonds. But you can acquire and lose all these things without warning. But your education can never be taken away from you. And if you add to it, it will grow in value. It'll be worth more than any diamond, any gold, anything that you can possess materially. So today also, graduates, we live in a nation and a world that is the most multicultural, multiracial, and multi-ethnic of all time. And look at the beauty in front of me. You have the opportunity and the responsibility, I suggest, to become the new cultural leaders, building new and stronger bridges of cross-cultural understanding. Seize the opportunity to become social justice warriors for the underserved, the underappreciated, and those who are marginalized in society. Model the principles of compassion, justice, fairness, equity, and liberty. Vote, volunteer, and be bold as a lion, but humble as a lamb. Let me say that again. To be bold as a lion, but humble as a lamb. Now, on top of all of that, all of you have a story to share. You have been tested, and therefore you have a testimony because you've been tested. Share how you made it. Use those lessons to inspire someone else who's battling obstacles as well. You are now in the position to mentor and to be a role model. People will watch you. They will watch your example. You are a leader. You are an educated leader, and you are a leader that can serve. Furthermore, you are the new educated leaders that we have been waiting for. If I am asking too much of you, too bad, because I'm going to add a few more things on. Let me add just a few more. Be generous as often as you are able. Be thoughtful, loving, and determined. Be respectful of difference and ready to learn and engage with people of all backgrounds. Be a listener, a healer, a peacemaker, a creator, but above all, be true to you. As I near the end of my remarks, I would like to share a brief story that helped to shape my blueprint for life. Perhaps it will resonate with you as you begin to plan your own life's blueprint. When I look around and see with pride the family members and everyone in the graduates, with joy and excitement, I'm reminded that I almost missed the opportunity to go to college. Because of one person. And you know what happens when one person tries to derail you? You never forget what that person looked like. You never forget that person's name. And this one person told me when I was a high school senior that I wasn't college material. I went home, said to my mother, Mr. So-and-so said I wasn't college material. My mother, who never had a large education, said, oh no, oh hell no. And the next morning, my mother gets on a bus with a 17-year-old son. Now you imagine how I look, all my friends riding that bus too? And my mother's on a bus with a 17-year-old son going to see this person who said that. And confronting the person, and saying, and I can remember the words, Mr. So-and-so, my son's not crazy, maybe you are. And because of her courage, I applied to one college just in time. And they accepted me just at the deadline. And I stand before you saying to my mother and father who are with me, the rest is history. Because I went on. I went on to become an educator. At every level, I was a principal. I went on to meet presidents, President Clinton, President Obama. I went on to start this organization because there was another student of mine who inspired me. He wrote me a letter. He was incarcerated for life for allegedly murdering somebody. And he said, Mr. Walker, although I'm incarcerated, I'm free because I'm educated. And that statement inspired me to start the organization that I started. Nothing's impossible. And while you're sitting here, I want you to believe in your heart that nothing is impossible. You can do it. So finally, the late Dr. Martin Luther King made a speech called The Blueprint of Life. And in the speech, he made it in front of some graduate students, some students. He said 3 things. First, have a deep belief in your own self-worth, your somebodyness. You are somebody. Always remember that you count, your life has meaning. Number 2, have a determination to succeed. Achieve excellence, whatever career work you select. Walk through the door of opportunity with your head high. Number 3, have a commitment to love and justice. Stand for something. Don't lose your self-respect. Make everything better than you found it. Be involved with freedom and justice. And I close by adding this 4th one. You now have wings. North Shore Community College gave you the wings of education. Fly, to soar. And you also have roots that your village of support and you planted. Never forget who you are. Never forget where you come from. And never forget the story you have to share. Thank you.